with me now is a woman I'm discussing the EU Business Forum with. She's the Deputy European Union Ambassador to Kenya. Her name is Catherine Hageman. I want to find out who is going to be there 21st, 22nd for this EU Business Forum. Who's coming in firstly from the member states?
Right, we have companies coming from a number of member states. Pretty much most of the ones who are represented here.
Yes.
You can, so I mean, this is a bit random. I don't want to single out sort of one member state or another because then I'll get the ambassador calling me. But you can see we have a website online that's called EU Kenya Business Forum. And if the people who registered, if they agreed to be public about it, you can click and you can see which are the Swedish companies, which are the French companies, which are the German companies, which are the Slovakian companies.
Can you give me an overview of the industries that are coming, if not the company itself?
Yes.
Maybe the industries that are represented?
I think we have quite a bit of focus on, again, because of the focus of what we want to do in Kenya, there's a focus on green. So there's circular economy, waste management, those areas very much. And then we have quite a bit in some of the traditional sectors where we've been active, from agriculture to health. And then the digital space. So those are the companies that would be coming, very much also in the small and medium enterprise area, because so don't expect sort of the super big company necessarily. I click through some of the companies that are there, and I have to admit that nothing jumped out at me as saying, oh yeah, I know this one.
Yes.
That may be partly because I'm not too familiar with Estonian companies.
Yes.
That
You're not? How can you not know these Estonian companies?
No, I'm supposed to represent 27 countries.
Yeah.
But part of it is that these companies are not the biggest necessarily but they're the biggest in their fields, and in terms of investing, going out, looking at where else there are partners to look for. So that's, but it's all public there. We're very transparent at the European Union. So you can go and you can click and see who's signed up already. We have 500 sort of slots for registration.
Yes.
And I understand we're getting close to that. So, registration
500 in total, so 500 Kenyan and 500 EU in total.
In total.
Okay.
And it's by invitation only. So
Yes.
on the Kenyan side as well, you can click and you can see who's signed up from the Kenyan side. So transparency rules for us.
So you went through and identified hundreds of Kenyan companies to then invite for this forum.
We had KEPSA do that.
I was like, what time?
KEPSA and so on the Kenyan side, it's KEPSA who's helping us a lot, and they will be there at the forum. So it's
shout out to Carol Kariuki, shout out to Flora. Ladies,
Yes.
I know you couldn't be with me here today, but they are the two women. One is the chair, that is Flora, and the CEO, Caroline. Kenya Private Sector Alliance. Great job.
Yes, and then from our side, we worked, of course, with our embassies here, with the European Business Council that we have, the EBC. So those are the companies from the European side that are already here. But then we also push the embassies to say, well, we don't want to just expand the businesses that are here, but we want to also attract new investment. And so there are companies coming together sometimes with political delegations. So we have the French trade minister or something.
He's somewhere.
Minister for Foreign Trade of
Okay.
France. That's the correct title.
Yes.
I understand. So he's coming. Then we have on our side we have the vice president of the European Investment Bank, and then and EU officials. We have the other delegations also being headed sometimes by civil servants, sometimes by sort of political figures coming from the member states. So that's
So every country's bringing an entourage.
along. Exactly.
Yeah. Everyone. One thing that is interesting is that I understand the EU economy is based on SMEs,
Yes.
small and medium businesses.
SMEs rule. This is really. We always worry so much about whether we can attract some big investor, but in the end, it's actually small and medium-sized companies that will actually create more value and more jobs. So that's really what we're trying also in Kenya to really push so that we have more small and medium-sized companies, or even micro-sized companies. Somebody who just has a small business somewhere in one county, but employs 10 people, and those 10 people then have money to spend on other things and create other jobs. That's how the economy works.
Katrin, I'm starting a business.
SpiceFM.